People, listen, real quick video inspired by my guy Jungle Inc. today. I'm going to share that. But look, got to go over this market really, really quick. CoinGecko says the total cryptocurrency market cap is down 4.5%, yet and still it's over $4 trillion. $4 trillion. Anyway, Bitcoin was just over 119. Now it's at 118.9. Cray cray. 20% up on a 30-day. Ethereum's up 71% in 30 days. And there's people hanging out in the SPY. Okay. And trading at $3,700. XRP is at trading at $3.52. I woke up this morning. I don't know. Anyway, woke up this morning. It was $3.68. In an hour, it's back down to 350. So that looks like support, and 368 looks like resistance. But anyway, XRP is up 82% in 30 days. Solana is trading at $203. It's up 58% in 30 days. And people want to, get their nose up in there about 58% in 30 days. Anyway, what else we got going on? Dogecoin, I'll share real quick. 26 cents just trading at. It's up 83%. 83% in 30 days. Anyhow, so we is trading at $3.94. It's up 65% in the last 30 days. Listen, the market family is doing what the market does. Hedera, shout out to those out there who were able to realize this 110% increase in 30 days. I hope that was you. I know it's a lot of XRP community. Hopefully it's my guy Solomon over at King Solomon YouTube channel as well. So that's the market, fam, and it is doing what the market does. But this video today was inspired by my guy, Jungle Inc. He's been doing some stuff here. He's got a new little format here with his, not only with his channel, which I love the format that he does his channel in. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel, Jungle Inc. Crypto. 3 words, Jungle Inc. Crypto on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that guy and support him. He's doing outstanding work. So I'm listening to him, and this dude is so excited this morning or last night. He is yelling in the microphone. He's excited about this thing. I'm like, I'm not sure I understand what's going on. What are you all excited about? Right before he talks here, he says, most people are missing the RLUSD and what it really means. Right? So I got to thinking to myself, maybe I'm one of those dudes as well. Maybe I'm missing it as well. So I did some homework and hopped on Chat GPT for a bit. I'm going to share that with you. But look at this, his infograph. It says here, RLUSD, transforming the XRPL into a U.S. financial infrastructure. This has been Ripple's plan. I don't want to say from day one, but this is the plan, right? Remember when Brad Garlinghouse said that Ripple was a blockchain infrastructure company? Remember that when they pivoted from, fintech companies selling software to banks? Remember that pivot from that to the blockchain infrastructure company? You guys remember that? Anyway, regulatory breakthrough. The Genius Act provides stablecoins a regulatory green light. RLUSD is built to leverage this new regulatory framework. That is without question. Fed connections. If Ripple secures a banking license, the Ripple dollar could become the first stablecoin directly backed by Fed reserves and issued on a public blockchain, making the XRPL the first decentralized network with a direct link to the Fed. Jungle's infographic goes on to say, Ripple's strategy is clear. RLUSD handles compliance and fiat on and off ramps, while XRP, the digital asset, bridges assets and powers global liquidity, creating a regulated pipeline for institutional capital. This is the plan. So I'm saying to myself, cool. How does this equate? How does this bring value? What's the ratio for value, direct value to, what I'm concerned about? Most concerned. Not that I'm not concerned about the XRPL. I am most concerned about XRP holders. Right? That's my thing. How is it equating? So I hopped on ChatGPT and I shared my concerns and the big old question. I used the voice thing just so I can show it. I'm going to show the question. This is me just rambling. Like, I'm trying to figure out what, if any, value is coming to XRP holders given the new features to the XRPL, whether it be the multi-purpose tokens, the MPTs, all this new latest, greatest features to the XRPL and RippleX developer moves. I'm not sure how this equates to value to XRP holders. And what I mean by that, for example, Ripple applied for bank charter. Ripple applied for some other thing with the Fed, right? I'm just talking in the microphone. Ripple and RippleX devs teams are building out the XRPL for institutional use, perhaps maybe even tying into some Fed account with Ripple dollar stablecoins, right? Again, Ripple have an XRP as the bridge currency for institution. How is something like that tied directly to the value of the asset XRP in terms of its price? How does that, or does that reflect price appreciation somehow? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't think it does, because I'm not sure if the XRPL being tied into the Fed banking system or any system where XRP is used as the bridge currency creates demand for the asset XRP. Okay? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Again, I'm just thinking out loud. Thoughts just kind of came watching his video. Can you explain it to me? Can you explain it to me how this is going to create demand? Can you explain things like Ripple acquiring Hidden Road? Now, I understood it. I asked this once before. Great breakdown of that before. And hundreds of millions of dollars being brought onto the XRPL. How is that increasing the price? How is that creating demand for the asset XRP? Again, I'm just rambling. I got some thoughts in my brain after watching Jungle Ink's video. I'm just putting it out there, okay? on ChatGPT. How is that increasing the price? How is that creating demand for XRP? Because I'm not sure that it is. I'm not sure that it does not. So I'm not sure that it is. I'm not sure that it doesn't. I'm just not certain that it is, and I'm trying to figure it out how it does. Can you help with that? So he gave this, awesome stuff here, which was cool. Got it. It was great. I'm not going to go through that. And then I said, can you explain this? Can you explain this part of it in more detail? And the part I wanted to explain in more detail was right here. Below is how the headline initiatives you mentioned slot into that loop. New development, Ripple's banking charter plus FedMaster account. Direct plumbing to XRP demand, says ChatGPT. You put the Ripple dollar reserves at the Fed, removing correspondent banking friction. Banks and fintechs can settle the Ripple dollar to FX with XRP as the bridge via Liquidity Hub or Slant ODL. Why it matters for price? Lower counterparty risk makes large institutions comfortable warehousing bigger XRP liquidity buffers. They can't rely on just-in-time retail books for 8-figure flows. All right, so cool. So I said, what I did, I said, all right, I did that part there that I just read to you. Can you explain that in more detail? Can you explain this in more detail? This is what it did here. Why a banking charter plus a FedMaster account can boost structural demand for XRP. What changes once Ripple has a national bank charter? Okay, it explains some stuff here. Before RLUSD, Ripple's planned stablecoin must hold reserves at a commercial partner bank. Each cross-border payment touches at least 2 correspondent banks. After the charter, Ripple can park the Ripple dollar reserves directly at the Fed reserve by way of a master account. That removes 1 or 2 correspondent layers and the daylight settlement risk that goes with them. Why that matters? Large corporates and FX desks care about counterparty and settlement risk more than 5 or 10 basis point fee. Holding a Fed-backed IOU is the gold standard. Now, how does that flow into XRP usage? Treasury at U.S. headquarters funds the Ripple dollar. RLUSD needs to reach a supplier in, say, Mexico. Yeah, I got Liquidity Hub, Slant ODL path quotes. It shows it here. Ripple dollar to XRP to the Mexican peso on the destination exchange. XRP is the bridge asset because the Mexican payout partner already has an XRP Mexican quarter. We already understand that. Every time that quarter moves $1 million, the market maker on the US dollar side and the one on the Mexican side each hold a buffer of XRP. Why this phrase in the market making space? Why just in time sourcing isn't enough at scale? For a $100,000 retail remittance, an exchange can scrape its order book on the spot. For an $80 million corporate payroll run, slippage skyrockets if they try that. The market maker, therefore, pre-positions inventory so they can quote a tight spread. So the rule of thumb, market makers keep 1 to 2 days of quarter volume and working inventory. Then they gave a kind of an example of a chart here of one scenario. Today, a pilot, 50 million on the ODL, RDL quarters, XRP buffer needed, 1.5x the flow. So 50 million, that would be 75 million. XRP units at 60 cents. I don't know why the 60 cents is there, but it is. And that equates to 125 million XRP. 2026 ramp. So today's slant pilot. All right, so 2026 ramp, $500 million. 500 million, the daily ODL flow, 500 million. The XRP buffer needed 750 million. The XRP needed in units 1.25 billion XRP. 2028 scale, 2 billion in daily ODL flow. You understand? XRP buffer needed $3 billion. XRP units, 5 billion. Again, this is the 60 cent stuff here. So just understand that. If I changed it, if I asked, and I will do it later today, can you do the units at current price, right? And see what it does. But anyway, that 5% of the total supply is sitting in cold wallets as non-trading inventory. That's 5% of the total supply sitting in a cold wallet as non-trading inventory, right? It's off the market. Once quarters hit $2 billion a day. Why the Fed link is the catalyst. Lower settlement risk, lower settlement risks to higher corporate limits than to bigger payments batched on to ODL, liquidity hub, whatever you want to call it, right? Lower friction to RLUSD stablecoin becomes more attractive than using SWIFT for US dollar legs. Higher comfort to banks and PSPs, payment service providers, are willing to warehouse larger XRP buffers rather than tap retail order books. Each of these means persistent bid pressure, buying XRP to stock the inventory, and reduced float. Those tokens sit idle except for rebalancing. TLDR. Fed master account equals RLUSD as safe as Fed wire balances. We covered that before. Safe RLUSD to larger enterprise flows routed through Ripple's ODL. Larger ODL flows means market makers must hold more XRP at all times. So let me say that again. The Fed master account equals RLUSD is as safe as Fed wire balances. A safe Ripple dollar stablecoin equals large enterprise flows routed through Ripple's ODL. Larger ODL flows mean or equals market makers must hold more XRP at all times. Bigger XRP working capital plus constant micro burn of transaction fees equals a tighter supply and upward price elasticity, even before retail speculation is counted. And this is what Jungle Inc. said in his video. He intimated that this future price appreciations is going to be about this future with the Fed master account, with the banking charter license. It's going to be about the institutions and how they're using the XRPL. Great stuff, bro. Great stuff, Jungle. So in any case, I just wanted to share that again. This video inspired by my guy, Jungle Inc. All right, fam. Listen, this wraps up your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor, hit that like button. It's one of the greatest ways to support the channel. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Seas, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.